Penguin Random House Audio presents Giving Our Best, a retreat with Pema Chödrön on practicing the way of the Bodhisattva by Pema Chödrön.
Well, good morning. And I am going to be teaching the first chapter of the Bodhicharya Avatara, the Bodhisattva's way of life. May bodhichitta, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be, and where it has arisen may it never fail, but grow and flourish ever more and more. So I'm going to jump right in without saying too much introduction. But the first chapter, as you see, is called The Excellence of Bodhicitta. And it begins with the homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So I think probably I should tell you what bodhicitta is. Since this whole chapter is an advertisement for bodhicitta, in those lines that we just said, may bodhicitta, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be. That refers to bodhicitta, which I'll explain in a moment, not having arisen in our hearts and minds, and the aspiration is it may it arise for our greatest benefit and for the benefit of everyone else. So this chapter is taught in that spirit, to try to get you interested in bodhicitta so that you might engage in it. And it's sort of taking you exactly where you are with as much love and compassion, as much open-mindedness, spacious-mindedness as you currently have or don't have. It just takes you where you are and starts to proclaim the wonderfulness of bodhicitta the way you might proclaim the wonderfulness of something if you were trying to sell it. So what is bodhicitta, since that's our topic? As a working definition of it, I'm going to call it a longing and a commitment to wake up fully and completely, which is the same thing as saying to be free of suffering and the cause of suffering completely. And why? In order that we could help other people. And this last part, in order that we can help other people, is very key to bodhicitta, because it's a longing. You could even put it the other way around. It's a longing and commitment to help others. And then you set out. A lot of you are probably in professions where you help people. So you set out to want to do that, and you're right up against all your old habits. Fear, loathing. People tell me all the time about, I wanted to save at-risk teenagers. So I trained and I went into that profession, and in 2 days I just hated most of the kids. So I realized, I had a little work to do if I really wanted to do that, and it wasn't a little work about getting rid of all these kids and getting some nice kids in here. Could we just get rid of all these kids and get some that cooperate? And so you realize that then you have to then the longing and commitment really grows strong to want to clean up your act. And that means, to be less reactive and more open, less fearful, less stuck in your old ways that keep getting in the way of you and helping other people. So it's a longing, and that's really an important word, but also a commitment to actually do what it takes to free yourself of old habits and fears, which is the same thing as saying freeing yourself of suffering. And then, to the degree that you can do that, to that degree, you're right there for those teenagers or husband or wife or child or whoever it might be. You're right there for them. And of course you might be feeling things, you might be reacting inside, but you're right there, and they can feel it. You're there for them. And therefore, to the degree you can be there, then you can help. And then it says homage to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And Bodhisattva definition is those who have this longing and have made this commitment. So we could include ourselves in that as bodhisattvas in training, or toddler bodhisattvas. Learning to walk and eat and all the rest of it. So having said something about bodhicitta and the bodhisattva, so the first 3 verses, if you were checking your outline, but you don't have to keep referring to it, but the first 3 verses are a very traditional opening. So he starts out in a very traditional way with this 4-part opening. So let me read the first 2 lines. When you start these traditional openings, the first thing you do is you pay respect, pay homage, or venerate those who have helped you get to this point, or it's often your teachers, or in this case he pays homage or venerates, offers his respect to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the living Buddha as an example, the teachings, his teachings that it's like the tools you might need to engage on waking up bodhicitta, helping you to be free of old habits and fears. And Sangha, which is, in this case, we're going to call it all of us, all of those who are on this path of awakening. So it goes like this. To those who go in bliss, that's the Buddhas, all those who have attained realization. The Dharmakaya they possess, so it's not just the teachings themselves, but also any realization you have of the teachings, any experience you have that goes along with the word free of habit, my habits, or any real actual experience or realization. And all their heirs, so that's the Sangha. And in this case, really what it refers to specifically is he venerates those who have realization, what they have realized, and their heirs means the bodhisattvas, those who are on this path, walking on this path. So that's the first part. It's to pay respect. And then the next 2 lines are, traditionally you would pledge to compose it, and you would set the intention to finish. And in this case, he also tells you what he's going to talk about. So he says, according to the scriptures, in other words, he's saying this is going to be based on the Buddhist teachings. It's not like something I made up. According to the scriptures, I shall now in brief describe the practice of the Bodhisattva discipline. So he says in brief, and he means basically he's going to take all the Mahayana Buddhist teachings and condense them into this teaching that he's about to give. And his subject is the practice of the Bodhisattva discipline, how you actually practice. The whole book is an instruction manual for how to awaken bodhicitta and then how to awaken it further and further and further. So also in this these second 2 lines, he sets his intention to really do this. And intention is very important before you start anything. To set your intention, you're much more apt to stick with it and follow through. Then the verse 2 goes on.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?